Hello everyone, this is The Last Word and I'm Maria Shakil. The beginning of the end. The downward spin of the India bloc seems to be gaining speed as state polls go by. The latest example is Delhi. 2 days after the Delhi debacle, allies continue to bicker over the cost-benefit analysis of the motley crew. What slowed down the BJP juggernaut in the Lok Sabha polls seems to have misfired at the level of states. From Haryana to Maharashtra to the capital collapse, Congress seems to be the common pain point. We ask, are conflicting desires the inflection point for the India bloc? Take a look at this report and then I bring in the guests.
The disunity and discord among opposition parties in Delhi and Maharashtra directly aided the BJP in its victory. If this continues, why even form alliances? Just fight to your heart's content. Just keep fighting amongst yourselves. India bloc split wide open. Sena UBT mouthpiece Saamana echoing the sentiment of several allies after the Delhi debacle for AAP and Congress. But the grand old party is in no mood to relent.
इस बारे में दिल्ली के में जो हुआ अरविंद केजरीवाल जी का, वो क्या हम जिम्मेदार है? जब हमारे ऊपर केजरीवाल ने जिस तरह से आरोप लगाया था, तब क्या उसका परिणाम आज क्या हुआ?
Though some Congress chief ministers are speaking out,
but everyone is expecting everything. That is the biggest problem. We have seen in Delhi, we have seen in Haryana. Kejriwal has disturbed in Haryana, where Congress has got a defeat, and Congress has done something in Delhi. So ultimately, BJP is benefiting.
Just after the results on the 8th, this cryptic post by J&K Chief Minister and National Conference Working President Omar Abdullah, a stark commentary on the state of affairs in the India bloc, which has been on a downward slope since the Lok Sabha polls. The Delhi drubbing for the Aam Aadmi Party and Congress, the third straight rout, has only made matters worse for the opposition alliance. Omar was also one of the first opposition leaders expressing his disenchantment with the bloc when he said that it's better to wind up the alliance if parties can't work together.
बदकिस्मती की बात यह है कि क्योंकि इंडिया ब्लॉक की कोई मीटिंग बुलाई नहीं जा रही है, तो इसमें कोई क्लैरिटी नहीं है, ना लीडरशिप को लेके, ना एजेंडा को लेके, ना आगे क्या हम रहेंगे या नहीं रहेंगे इसको लेके.
Congress's love-hate relationship with its allies has been one of the main factors for the alliance being in the doldrums. In Delhi as well, the party refused to ally with Aam Aadmi Party, and its leaders, led by Rahul Gandhi, made direct attacks on Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal. The other allies backed AAP over Congress in the Delhi battle. The friendly fire burnt a decisive hole in AAP's tally, with the party losing at least 13 seats in Delhi, where the Congress vote was more than the AAP's loss margin, giving the party ammunition to fire back at its ally.
हरियाणा में भी कांग्रेस ने जो है आम आदमी पार्टी के साथ अलायंस नहीं किया, तो वहाँ भी नुकसान हुआ. तो इंडिया ब्लॉक को बहुत ज़रूरी है इस समय सोचने की बात, और कहीं न कहीं सबसे पहले इकट्ठे होकर इस पर वार्तालाप होनी चाहिए, कारणों में जाना चाहिए, क्या कारण है, क्यों हम बार बार जो है लूज कर रहे हैं.
Since Congress's drubbing in Haryana elections and Aghari's rout in Maharashtra, it's been a rough ride for the India bloc. Allies have explicitly expressed no confidence in the leadership of Congress, with Mamata Banerjee pitching for the alliance's leadership. Will the Delhi loss push the India partners into taking a hard look at the alliance, or is it the beginning of its end? Bureau Report, NDTV.
Dr. Shama Mohammed is national spokesperson of the Congress. We have Dr. Ajay Alok representing the BJP. Ghanshyam Tiwari, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, will be joining me in just a bit. Professor Sandeep Shastri is a national coordinator, Lokniti Network. Dr. Shama Mohammed, there is a need for introspection. I think that's almost like a consensus among India bloc members. But post-Haryana, or even after Maharashtra, and now after Delhi, when is a meeting likely to happen? When will the leaders sit across and discuss what is going wrong election after election?
Okay, hi Maria. If you're asking about our party, we will discuss this internally, what is happening election after election. But to sit across with Arvind Kejriwal, I don't think that's going to be possible. You see, I was just listening to your journalist with a story just before. And they said, we attacked AAP. I mean, in Haryana, for example, the vote share of AAP is 1.5%. Why didn't AAP say, you fight this election, we're going to back out, and we will support you? Every time we are blamed. In the by-election in UP, for the 9 seats, we did not interfere. We said, let Samajwadi Party fight it, because we felt they are the stronger partner and they can win it, and we allowed them to do. So Congress has got, especially my leader Rahul Gandhi, has a very big heart. And we try to accommodate, even in Lok Sabha, we've given a lot of seats to Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray. They have asked for it, and we sacrificed. But even though we got more seats at the end of the day. So here is a man called Arvind Kejriwal and his party. In a list of corrupt leaders, they put out Rahul Gandhi's name. How dare? Can you look at Arvind Kejriwal and see how he has attacked the Congress party? Why is none of these India Bloc people not talking about how Arvind Kejriwal treats the Congress party? So with Arvind Kejriwal, I don't think any talks can happen, because of the fact of the matter is, when he himself is corrupt, we cannot have a conversation, especially with the CAG report, which comes out and says that
6 months ago, the same Mr. Kejriwal was not really this pariah for the Congress party. You had fought the Lok Sabha elections together.
Yeah, so 6 months ago, the CAG report did not come. The CAG report came. The High Court of Delhi said, please table it.
But at that time, Mr. Kejriwal was in jail. He was serving a jail term.
Yeah, so that time the case was going on. Now a CAG report came out in which the High Court of Delhi, it's a court, says, Mr. Kejriwal, please table this in the assembly, call a special session. Why did he not call that special session? That is our question today. He came in 2013, calling us corrupt and India against corruption. We need the Lokpal. We passed the Lokpal bill. Where is that Lokpal? Where is the man who came against India against corruption? Where does he stand? What is his ideology? He has only one ideology. Me, myself, and I, not people of Delhi, not people of India. It's all about him. That is the question we ask. A man who came, who accused us of corruption, who accused Sheila Dixit of corruption. None of us have been convicted or, for that matter, gone to jail. Fine. Now, we never had a report like this.
So, as far as any potential alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, that's not happening, is a message that's coming from the Congress at the moment. But Samajwadi Party, here is Akhilesh Yadav, who openly campaigned for Mr. Kejriwal. So the messaging was not as much for the people of Delhi. It was for the Congress, because the Samajwadi Party has no stake whatsoever in Delhi. You have no voter base in Delhi, Ghanshyam Tiwari, and still Mr. Akhilesh Yadav comes and he campaigns for Aam Aadmi Party. So he had chosen his side. And now he is saying that everybody was fighting among themselves. What efforts were made by the alliance partners of India Bloc to ensure that it stands together?
Good evening, Maria, to you, the viewers and the fellow co-panelists. It has remained in the open that Congress Party and Aam Aadmi Party are bitter parties against one another, whether in alliance or in contest. And the Delhi election squarely, as a result, damages both the parties, and it is for the parties to introspect. As far as India Alliance is concerned, the core of India Alliance architecture was the party which is in command in terms of public support in their state will architect the India Alliance in a way that the BJP is defeated, their hate agenda is defeated, constitution is boosted, and people's aspirations are boosted. Aam Aadmi Party, in terms of public support, was in command in Delhi, and even the results show that they have been in command in Delhi.
So are you
and as a
saying
result,
that
it
the
was
Congress
logical.
is responsible for Aam Aadmi Party's failure and their numbers going down in Delhi? Because the numbers certainly show that on 13 seats, the margin of victory between the winner and the second party is the same as the vote that has been polled by the Congress candidate.
Well, if you take the chief minister and put him in jail, you take the deputy chief minister and put him in jail, you take health minister and put him in jail, you threaten MLAs, you take away the powers of the government, and then you say that another opposition party alliance or contestant is responsible. I believe that people know who is responsible. BJP had a dictatorial plan, and that dictatorial plan succeeded in the end through this verdict. But that doesn't take away the fact that they have butchered the aspirations of Delhi with this dictatorial plan. A party that N. Biren Singh, by the way, resigned, and the man has tapes that is with the Supreme Court, and the tapes talk about all kinds of violence. So
Ghanshyam, I'm just
BJP's
seriously wondering
plan,
that there is no introspection, there is no looking within, and you're constantly looking at issues outside. My question is that what is increasingly appearing right now is that Lok Sabha results were an aberration, because people have started feeling that perhaps that jhatka that was given to the BJP was way too much. They will continue to vote for them state after state. Come in now, Ajay Alok. Of course, you can sip your cup of tea, because it is pure drama playing out in India Bloc, which is turning out to be even more theatrical every day, given the kind of reactions, the comments, and also the journals that are being written. You have a Saamana openly criticizing the Congress party. These are the visuals of Saamana on your television screens, that AAP Congress tussle made things easy. You may say that this was bound to happen.
Well, if there was a Saamana, there was also Omar Abdullah who said, all lado aapas mein. There was multiple things. First of all, I would like to tell you, there is nothing called as India Alliance, or what do you say. These bunch of indie peoples who got together in Lok Sabha, they are the bunch of corrupt who are there only to save their skin from the hands of law, and who wants to promote their parivarwad at a full-fledged, maximum accelerated speed without caring of the people, and that's what the mandate is all about. Now, second thing, when you were mentioning that in 13 seats, Aam Aadmi Party and Congress put together, they could have made the BJP lose, then I would like to take you 6 months back. These two corrupts were fighting together. They were voting for each other. Rahul Gandhi voted for Arvind Kejriwal and vice versa. And these two put together, our vote percentage was much higher than these two combined together. And dynamics do change when three parties contest together. And dynamics do change when a head-on collision takes place with each other. So let's not get into that trap. We were clearly ahead. And along with our allies, we are closing net to 49%. If you take, though both have lost their seat, but if you add their vote percentage. My question is very clear. And the public verdict is very clear. Here, Congress is calling AAP corrupt. Here, Arvind Kejriwal is naming Rahul Gandhi as in the corruption list. Well, I would like to ask the Congress, who is on the bail in National Herald? Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, everybody is on a bail. For what? Corruption charges, nothing else. It's the perception what matters in the politics. And the perception about the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party is that they both are highly corrupt. They are self-centered, ambitious. They don't care. They only have one thing in common, hatred for Modi, self-power ambitions and desires. Nothing else, nothing to do for the people.
All right.
I mean,
Professor
all the three states the Congress are currently ruling, they are on the verge of frustration.
Okay, Professor
Sorry?
Shastri, is India Bloc dead for all practical purposes? There is no leadership, there is no clarity as to who is trying to hold this group together, there's no convener, and at the moment it appears that there's no future either.
Maria, I remember 1979 when the Janata Party collapsed. There was a headline in the newspaper which said, "United we fall, divided we stand." And I think to a certain extent that seems to be the principle on which the opposition alliances seem to work. Quickly, 3 points, Maria, which I think flows from what all we have heard. Let's remember in electoral...
All right. We will try and reconnect with Professor Shastri. But yes, Shama Mohammed, go ahead.
So I was listening to Ajay Alok. He said one was Parivarvad. Now, in Karnataka, Vijendra, the son of Yedurappa, is made the PCC president there, BJP president. Their own MLAs have come to Delhi protesting, saying that we don't want him. And their MLAs are saying, you see, you speak every time against Parivarvad, then why do you have Vijendra? This is not what I am saying. It is the MLAs of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Then he says BJP and AAP are corrupt. Now let me remind him about Meghalaya election. where the BJP was in
Congress
government with NPP. Let me just finish. He says the Meghalaya election, they were together, all right? And when they were fighting the election, they fight separately. I still remember the speech of Amit Shah saying NPP is a corrupt party. They're dubified in corruption, all right? This is him accusing NPP. After the elections, they get 2 seats, and then he joins the same government who he's calling corrupt. Now, Amit Shah and Modi can say whatever they want. It is fine. But yes, you just keep calling us corrupt. So let me ask you, Ajay Alok, why did Amit Shah calling the NPP corrupt during the campaign and don't vote for them? They were also in the government with them. Then why did you join the corrupt party after elections? I want to know, just because you want to be in power and you want to be in the government, isn't it? So is that fair and square? And why don't they remove Vijendra since he's Parivarwad? Can you answer that, Ajay Alok, to me?
Okay, Ajay Alok.
Yeah. Please have patience to listen. First of all, we have explained multiple times, including the Prime Minister, that what is meant by Parivarwad. To have 3 or 4 generations in politics at various point of time is not Parivarwad. Parivarwad is when it is pre-decided who is going to be the president of the party, if it's the national party or if it's the state party, who is going to be the president of the party. Parivarwad is who is going to occupy the topmost chair, whether it's the Prime Minister's chair or whether it's the Chief Minister's chair, which is quite ample. Like with a sub-IQ people like your Prime Minister, I was not interfering in between. Your Prime Minister candidate is once and for all decided, though it's 56 not out. Which is a record. Rahul Gandhi has a tremendous consistency of getting not out of the party in spite of losing so many elections. That is Congress for you. And Shama, by the way, in UP there was a contest on 10 by post, not on 9, which you decided to leave. Which you decided to leave. I'm coming one after the other. Why are you interfering in between? Let me finish.
You don't have
Why
an
are you becoming patient and
Okay, I have just enough time now for Professor Shastri.
Let's have a civil debate.
There was a problem with his line, so let me go back to him. Professor Shastri, what is the future of India Bloc?
Now, I think the future of India, the India coalition, I think 2 points have to be kept in mind. It's always difficult to stitch together a coalition when you are in the opposition. It's much easier to stitch together a coalition when you are coming to power, because power then keeps the coalition together. My last point, what is the glue that is holding this coalition together? The only glue that is holding the coalition together is anti-BJPism. And I think it's important that if this coalition has to come together, there has to be a common minimum agenda, there has to be a common policy framework, there has to be a common agenda. Otherwise, what we are noticing happening will continue to happen at a regular frequency. There is a need for an opposition coalition, but that opposition coalition needs to be on principles, on policies, on priorities, and unless that happens, this coalition will really not move forward, and it cannot alone be on one factor, which is the glue of anti-BJPism. This, I think, is what has to be understood, and unless that is taken care of, I really don't think there is any real meaningful future for a coalition like the India coalition coming together.
Okay, but Professor Shastri, this is the same coalition which worked pretty well during the Lok Sabha polls. And of course, you know, in states, they have conflicting ambitions. It was known. But it would deter the manner in which it has, that was not expected.
In the Lok Sabha poll also, remember, there were many states where the coalition did not really function effectively. And there is a view that if that alliance happened at an all India level and not state by state, the results of the Lok Sabha elections could have been very different. And as you very rightly said, Maria, the real fight is at the state level because parties within the India coalition have competing interests in particular states. And therefore, they are not able to strike a alliance or come together, especially when they have conflicting interests in a particular state. How are you going to manage when you go to Kerala next year, where there are very clear differences within the India coalition and other parties which are anti-BJP? So I think it's important that the coalition be grounded on clear principles, on clear strategies, on clear policy alternatives and not merely as a coalition which is opposing the BJP.
Okay, Professor Shastri, before I let you go, and that will be your final comment on the show tonight as well, why should Congress let regional players grow at its own cost? I mean, that's bad politics for any political party.
Now, the parties which have a base in certain states, we need to recognize the fact that they are important players in a particular state. Now, while the Congress is very much a national party, the footprints of that party today have got severely dented and are visible in certain key states only. So this reality of politics today, where does the Congress party stand in terms of electoral support? Where do these state-based parties stand in terms of electoral support? The state-based parties are definitely are going to demand their pound of flesh from the Congress and seek more in the bargaining. But that's part of the bargaining process. That's part of the bargaining strategy. The Congress gave in to several issues in the Lok Sabha poll. So I think this give and take will have to be there. And as long as this open fighting and allegations against the leaders is there, I don't think there will be any meeting ground. And I would go with what Omar Abdullah has said. You need to come together on issues, you need to come together on principles, you need to come together, at least accept a minimum leadership that you want to,
yes,
that would
and your sole objective cannot be to defeat Mr. Modi. I mean, anti-Modi politics aside, it's not about Modi and his brand of politics. I think that's where
anti-ism glue cannot hold a coalition
absolutely
together.
I mean, that glue is perhaps missing. I agree with you, Professor Shastri, Dr. Shama Mohammed, Ajay Alok and Ghanshyam Tiwari. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And joining us now is Sukhwinder Singh Randhawa, who's Congress MP from Gurdaspur. Remember, he set a cat among the pigeons by making some comments with regards to Aam Aadmi Party. So let's try and hear from him directly now. Mr. Randhawa, on close to 13 seats in Delhi, Aam Aadmi Party lost because of the Congress. So my question is, what really is the future of this alliance, keeping in mind the Punjab elections?
देखिए, बात सुनिए, हमारी नेशनल पार्टी है, हम पहले भी इसके अगेंस्ट थे, हमने पंजाब में इनके साथ नहीं किया, अलायंस नहीं किया कि हम इनके साथ इलेक्शन लड़ेंगे, हरियाणा में नहीं किया, दिल्ली में भी हमें पार्लियामेंट में भी नहीं करना चाहिए था, और इस बार जो किया है बिल्कुल ठीक किया, इनके साथ अलायंस नहीं। ये बीजेपी की बी टीम थी। मैं इनसे पूछना चाहता हूँ कि जब गुजरात में इलेक्शन हुई तो इनको कहा गया कि हमारे साथ इलेक्शन लड़ो, इन्होंने जाकर वहाँ उतनी सीटें हम हारे जिनमें आम आदमी पार्टी ने गुजरात की गवर्नमेंट में किया, ऐसे ही हरियाणा में किया। तो कांग्रेस पार्टी नहीं चाहती और कांग्रेस के जो लीडर्स हैं और जो वर्कर्स हैं वो नहीं चाहते कि हम किसी पार्टी के साथ, ऐसी पार्टी के साथ जो हमारी वोट ही खा जाए, तो उनके साथ अलायंस किया जाए।
तो आम आदमी पार्टी का क्या फ्यूचर होगा? सो व्हाट नेक्स्ट फॉर दिस इंडिया ब्लॉक that came together in the Lok Sabha polls, did decently well, performed in several states. The alliance worked. In some states it did not work, but overall it did manage to bring the BJP numbers down.
नहीं, इंडिया ब्लॉक आम आदमी पार्टी इंडिया ब्लॉक नहीं है, वो तो हमने पंजाब में नहीं किया, इंडिया ब्लॉक ने पूरे हिंदुस्तान में किया, पंजाब में हमने इनके साथ अलायंस नहीं किया। तो ये आप नहीं कह सकते कि इंडिया के ब्लॉक का जो एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती, इंडिया ब्लॉक में है, पर उस टाइम भी हमने इनके साथ नहीं किया था। वहाँ पंजाब में हमने वहाँ जब बाई इलेक्शन आई J&K की, वहाँ भी नहीं किया था।
All right, Mr. Randhawa, last question to you. What really will happen in Punjab? Is there a possibility of an alliance or is that completely ruled out?
पंजाब में आप देखेंगे, मैं प्रोडिक्शन तो नहीं से कह सकता, पर मैं दावे के साथ कह सकता हूँ कि पंजाब में देखिए कि पूरी की पूरी MLA और चीफ मिनिस्टर भागकर दिल्ली आ गए। क्या इतनी इमरजेंसी थी कि हारे दिल्ली तो डर पंजाब में आ गया? तो वहाँ अब इनमें ये हलचल मची हुई है कि इनके MLA इनकी पार्टी छोड़कर भागेंगे। वो इसलिए इनके मन में आ गया कि वो जो MLAs हैं उनका क्या बैकग्राउंड क्या है, किस पार्टी से आए हैं, पॉलिटिकली उनकी अलाइनमेंट किसके साथ थी, उनकी स्टैंडिंग क्या है। तो वो एमएलएज भी ऐसे हो गया कि दिल्ली में हम हार गए तो पंजाब में हम कैसे बचेंगे। पंजाब के जो हालात हैं उन्हीं से डरकर इनके एमएलए अलग अलग पार्टियों के साथ कांटेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि हमें ले लो, हमें ले लो। ये अकेली कांग्रेस नहीं है, बीजेपी के पास भी जा रहे होंगे जो शहरी हैं, अकाली दल के पास भी जाएंगे। इसलिए ये अभी एक र्यूमर और भी चल रही है कि केजरीवाल पंजाब का चीफ मिनिस्टर बनेगा। भगवंत मान कभी नहीं चाहेगा, पंजाब के लोग कभी एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेंगे।
All right, Mr. Randhawa, thank you so much for joining us and speaking to NDTV. That's all from me on this edition of The Last Word. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching.